All right, we've got our spiced dragon chai tea. Ooh. We have some fun friends in the background. Again, for those of you who are listening, go check out YouTube so you can see who's in the background. I think we're ready to do this.
Hi, everyone. You're tuning in to the Perfectly Powerfully You podcast, a space of epic positivity, radical self expression, and transformational growth. Join me in celebrating this beautiful thing we call life with even greater ease, flow, and authenticity.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Perfectly Powerfully You podcast. I'm your host, Nikita, and I trust, hope, and expect that you all are having a wonderful, authentic, inspired day. I am having a wonderful day so far. I am feeling ready to go, ready to do this, ready to have a podcast and a sit-down chat with you guys. I'm feeling pumped full of information and fun stories to share with you guys, so get ready. The inspiration for today's podcast for push energy versus leaning into pull energy. What does that mean? Well, we're going to talk about it in today's podcast. The inspiration is brought to you by me and my life because, oh man, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I find that we live in a society of productivity, which is so valued. And fair enough, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we are also creative beings. We love to do things. But sometimes it's also nice to just be and enjoy the fact that we have this one existence as the beautiful people that we are today. And we don't have to do things all the time. It's so much fun to do things when we're feeling inspired and pulled, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, to do things that feel good for us and good for our body. But I think sometimes we can get caught up in the hamster wheel of life where we are expected to do a lot. Raise your hand or write in the comments down below if this feels like your life. And so for today's podcast, we're going to lean into this energy. We're going to break it down a little bit. We're going to honor, acknowledge, and just hold space for this idea of doing all the time and it being okay. And also holding space for it's okay to just be and give ourselves permission to just be. And knowing that when we are relaxed, and we are leaning into this pulled energy, i.e., creativity, i.e., what feels inspiring for me in this moment, better things occur in our life, and we actually align with the even greater still that is meant to be in our life. So, if that sounds awesome to you, then continue to listen and or watch, and let's get started with the podcast. Now, I wanted to make content for Perfectly Powerfully You podcast because I enjoy doing it. I love learning. More specifically, I love learning about personal growth. And I also love sharing and I love helping people with their lives. It's something that, well, titillates my fancy. It's something that I love doing and I'm good at. And so, therefore, via the sphere of podcasting, I wanted to bring something to people because I wanted to stay not only committed to my weekly goal and action step of being able to bring some awesome content to my listeners and to you guys, but I also wanted to just, sit down and I felt like I had to do something. That was a distinct energy that I was feeling. I wasn't feeling inspired. I just said, well, Nikki, like you've got some time after doing some baking. Like I feel like you should do something. And here's the distinct energy of, I have to do it. You should be doing this right now. Did I feel like doing it? The answer was no. I just felt like I had to because I was definitely feeling a scarcity mode at this point. I felt like I had to create content because I wanted to stay committed. But there was also this distinct scarcity that I was like, well, I don't have things for people. I want to make sure that people have things to listen to, and I want to be dedicated to my company, and I got to keep doing, got to try harder, Nikki, try harder, just keep doing it. And so I said, okay, Nikki, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do a podcast. And I had nothing. I had nothing. I sat down, I pressed record, and I just stared at myself in the reflection of the camera, and I said, think, Nikki, think, do something. Dance monkey, you should create content for people. This is what they want. And saying it out loud is really cathartic. So, for those of you who are feeling this energy of you should do this, you should have more, you should be more, I think saying it out loud or writing it down, I'll always say to write it down or say it out loud or just get it out. Have a therapist, have a life coach, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, to just get this out because it's so helpful with being able to just voice to light maybe some things that are running in the background of your mind. And so what was running in the background of my mind was do dance monkey, you need to do this right now. And so I said, okay. And I felt so out of alignment. And I know when I'm feeling out of alignment because my podcasts just don't sound the same. The creations just don't exude that energy of I actually want to be here right now. And when I allowed myself to just pause, take a step back, and acknowledge, Nikki, do you actually want to be here right now? Like, is this what you're feeling pulled to do? And I said no. I just thought that maybe if I sat in front of the camera and the mic, that maybe something would just come to me, because sometimes you know what it does. But in this instance, the answer was negatory. It's not going to happen. Not today. Nope. Stars. Not today. Stars. If you know where that's from, then leave it in the comment down below. It's a little Easter egg for you if you guys. It's from my one of my favorite movies. And but let me know if it rings a bell for you. And so because I wasn't feeling totally enthused, I decided to stop the recording. And so this is happening actually a day later. It's amazing what a day later does for you. Sleeping on it a little bit, trying not to force yourself to do something. Because for those of you creatives, writers, artists in general, then you probably will know, and you probably have experienced this, that things flow better when we're not trying to force our creativity. And if I was being honest with myself, I was trying to force creativity. I was trying to force information. I was telling myself I should. And that was felt out of alignment with who I say that I am living as. The woman in my vision, when I was checking in with her, she's not feeling forced to do anything. She wants to do it. She's feeling compelled. She's feeling this pull. She's feeling this idea and energy and inspiration because she's in alignment with helping others. She's in alignment with being authentic and integrity, with having fun in life. And so, at the level of fact, I wasn't channeling my core values. And also, part of my core values is an integrity. And when I'm telling people live in integrity and go with your values, have more fun in life, don't just always do, be. And I said, Nikki, are you actually following this right now? And so, again, you already know the answer was no. And so I said, okay, all good. That's okay. Stop. Don't do it. And I said, what? Really? I could just stop? And I said, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and stop. You don't have to do this. You don't have to be here. Nikita, remember, everything is a choice. It was a choice to start this podcast from its baby beginnings in the first place. It's a choice to sit here right now and try to force yourself into doing something you don't want to do. And so it's a choice right now to say, let it go. Let it be. What instead do you feel called to do or not to do? Do you just feel called to do nothing and just sit there? And so when I was checking in with myself and I said, okay, thank you, Nikki. One, honoring and acknowledging myself for saying, man, like actually, thank you. for just giving me the space right now to not actually have to dance monkey, like to just actually be and to do something or be as the woman that I want to be and to do something I actually want to do and that feel compelled to do. And what was really ringing true in my mind and what I felt pulled to do was go to the gym. And I said, okay. So got on my gym gear, walked on over to the gym. And even at the gym, I was like, okay, well, now that I'm here, I'm not really feeling enthused either to be at the gym. And I said, okay, well, why don't you do like a couple rounds, lift some weights, and maybe you'll get into it. Maybe you just need to like prime those pumps a little bit. And I said, okay, so did a little bit. And I ended up doing like a good hour of exercise. But I could tell my energy wasn't really, really there. I wanted to move my body and I felt actually so much better after that. But it also felt like I needed time to relax. And that's where I was really feeling pulled. And I said, this is what it is. So for yourself, you might feel these stages just as I was experiencing of, okay, I really don't want to be here right now. I just feel like I'm forcing myself to do this right now. And then there might be, okay, well, what's next? What else would you love to do? And you're like, okay, well, I could do this. And maybe you do something and you're like, okay, well, I'm feeling a little bit better. Like this seems like better than what I was doing. And I really didn't want to do that. But this seems like I could be doing it, could not be doing it. Like I'm not really feeling excited. And then when you really, really ask yourself, okay, well, now that you've done this, what would you love? It's a really great question that you should ask yourself. What would I love now? And then my body immediately felt this uplifting, raised energy, like, I want to go to the sauna. And I said, let's go to the sauna. And I packed my stuff and I said, I'm so excited. And that's the difference. That's the energy people pay attention to this. I said, I want to go to the sauna. I want to get all nice and warm. I just want to sit there and relax and do nothing. And that's what my energy said that I wanted to do. That is where I felt like I really wanted to be. And so I said, okay, let's go there. Let's go to the sauna. And so I did it. And I had a great time. And do you know what was the most perfect thing? And this is why leaning into pull energy is going to be vital for your life, should you choose to accept young Padawan. Is my initial force energy was I'm not feeling inspired. I feel like I should be here to give content to people, but I'm just like nothing is coming up. And I said, okay, Nikki, well, what would I love to do? I would love to go to the sauna. And in the sauna, and if you guys have checked out episode 13, the one after this, you will know all about these inspiring men who I just happened, wink, wink, nudge, judge, thank you, universe, to just fall in alignment with and people who really radiated this positive energy that I wanted to continue to exude because I felt like I wasn't there until I honored myself. I honored what was going on within myself. And I said, what would I really love to do? Well, the answer is nothing. But in doing nothing, and for you, it could be in doing something, whatever it is, I became more in alignment with creativity and inspiration because these men became my muses. I had no idea that they were going to be in the sauna. I had no idea that after this, like a few hours later, after just sitting and just trying to force myself to do something, I created pages and pages and pages of inspired ideas and content that I wanted to bring to you guys that felt not only even more in alignment with who I say I would love to be, even more authentic, even more fun, even more in integrity with my values. And it came after acknowledging and honoring what it is that was in my body instead of forcing myself saying I had to do something. Now, for yourself in this life, again, it might be a little bit of a rewiring process or a lot of it of a rewiring process. And I'm still going through it too, obviously, that we are surrounded by productivity, people saying, create more, do more, be more. We just want to keep eating it up. And once it's gone, we want to eat some more. And that can feel if we're not aware of it and if we're, just like a little bit outside of it, it can feel overwhelming. And it can feel like we should just keep doing and being and trying to grab people's attention or just keep producing things so that people will buy our stuff or to listen to us or to see us. And I feel you. I am there. Sometimes I am allowing myself to step back from that and to do things that feel like they are in alignment. To do things, of course, for consistency and being the best part of my business and to be in integrity and to be the best possible advocate for perfectly powerfully you. This is in alignment. And we can do that. We can be the best versions of us. We can continue to lean into the creativity and inspired actions that will continue to forward our dreams in a way that feels peaceful, that feels relaxing, that feels fun and energetic and full of vitality and radiance and everything you say that you would love, even with greater time and money, freedom. We do this by listening to ourselves. And part of this means to acknowledge when you're in this kind of push versus pull energy. Now, I did mention this many times throughout this podcast, but what does it mean? Contraction and this feeling of forcing yourself to do something you really don't want to do is part of push energy. Push energy constricts the flow like kinking a hose. And it often comes from a scarcity mindset. It often comes from this idea that you should be more, do more, or have more, and that you really need to try harder in order for it to come into being. Versus pull energy, inspired ideas, what feels radiant. It's all the way out here. Oh man, I would absolutely love to do this. Yes, this feels like exactly where I want to head. And there's also some maybe unpredictability involved with this, but it also feels like things like, yes, I definitely want to do this. This feels like I don't know why, but it just feels so good. And with that, it means that we're allowing and holding space for even greater still in our life. Now, reminding me and reminding you that I thought I had to create content in order to move me in the direction of my dream, which is continuing to, well, have content for people to enjoy, be inspired by, be motivated by, to feel empowered by. But this push energy apparently was not serving me. But it was when I chose to relax and say, okay, if this isn't the way to go, what is? What would I love to do? Knowing that the universe is always present and always giving us little nudges when we're listening to them. And sometimes we think, why am I going right when I feel like I should be, have to be going left? Go right. If it feels good and you're feeling pulled and you don't know why, but your inner knowing is just saying, yes, go right, go right, go right. And if you end up going left and you're like, man, I should have just gone right, make note of that, mental notes of it, and saying, oh, right. I remember when I was getting all of these nudges to go right, but I ended up going left because I thought that's where I had to be, where I had to go. But now I'm thinking, okay, now I'm getting these little inklings. Go right. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna go right. And you're like, oh man, like this is exactly what it was happening. It's like, thank you so much, universe, for giving me this pathway that I didn't even know that was existing for me. But I chose to listen to my inner knowing, these nudges, these pulls, these inspired ideas to go right. And I did. And yes, and I'm making a mental note of this because it feels good to listen to yourself. It feels bad, so to speak. It feels constricting to not listen to yourself, to not listen to those inner nudges, those signs and signals that you should be going one way, but really you're going the other. Now, for those of you who are saying, well, that's great for you, Nikki. I'm so happy that you have the time and money freedom to be able to make these decisions, to just go out on a whim and just go to the sauna when you feel like it, to make these choices because you have a life that allows it. I'm currently working a 9 to 5 and I have a dog and I have a child and I have these responsibilities and I can't do it. My life won't let me do it. I don't have this level of freedom that allows me to make these inspired decisions. And to that I say, fair enough. To that I also say, I have no idea what's going on in your life. And there absolutely may be very compelling circumstances, situations, conditions, and thoughts, stories that are very, very convincing to not allow you, and I'm putting this in quotes, to not allow you to take those inspired ideas. And I also want to challenge these ideas because here on the Perfectly Powerfully You podcast, we're here to live into the dreams of our hearts. We're here to go in the direction of our dreams with even greater clarity, with even more confidence, and to say no to circumstances, situations, and conditions, and yes to inspired ideas, yes to the dreams of our hearts, and yes to things that we can do with what we have from where we are right now. Our lives, all of our lives, look a little different from time to time. And there may be some things, some responsibilities that are going to require you to do them. And I'm going to say that there are going to be things that maybe we don't always want to do, but we do them because we know that they serve our highest good. And for you, I honor you. I honor whatever it is going on in your life. And I also want to offer you this. We all have and make decisions in every moment of every day. And we get to decide for our dreams or for the circumstances, situations, and conditions in our life that may try to convince us that they are more important than us, that they are more important than our dreams and living into them. And I'm not saying don't feed your dog, don't walk your dog, don't do things with and for your kids, don't prioritize household chores. What I'm saying is, how can you, and you can ask yourself, how can you make space for both? How can you allow, yes, the inspired thoughts, yes, the inspired actions, while also being in balance with the life that you have right now? The beautiful thing about our life is that we get to create it by default or design. When we hold a vision for the life that we would love to live and we take small action steps every single day, what ends up happening is that our life starts to change. And it may not change all at once, and that's okay. But if we know that we're going to be doing the exact same thing in the exact same way with the exact same shitty feeling, then we know we're going to have the exact same life in the exact same moment that we think about it a month from now, a year from now, 90 years from now, and that's our life, and then we die. And I don't know about you, but that seems very bleak. And so, no, your life may not look like mine. But what if it could look exactly like how you want it to look? What would that look like? When we truly conjure up a vision and we lean into this pull energy of, okay, I'm feeling that I would really love to create this. I'm not loving maybe some things in my life, some certain aspects of my health and well-being, certain aspects of my love and relationships. Maybe I'm not loving certain aspects of my time and money freedom and maybe the job that I have. But okay, if I know that I make decisions every day of my life, what can I do now where that feels good for me right now, where I can lean into the visions of my heart? What can I do today? And if you're asking yourself these questions, trust me, you are going to get powerful answers that are going to move you in the direction of your dream. Your dream may not pop out of nowhere, but you can be sure as heck that if you are holding a vision for something even greater in your life, it will come into being if you are taking action steps that serve it. And Inspired ideas, energies that pull you, energies that feel inspiring as opposed to constricting, are the ways in which we lean into our highest self. The self that not only knows that it's already done, but the highest self that has your best interest in heart and in mind, and embody it. Embody that version of you that not only wants this for you, but knows it is absolutely possible for you. You are not powerless in your life until you say so. There is absolutely always something that can be done, even if it's something really small. Like, instead of sitting down and creating a podcast because I didn't want to, I was going to the sauna because it felt good. Maybe instead of forcing yourself to make dinner, maybe it's taking yourself out for a little treat and going out to dinner. I don't know what in this moment doesn't feel good to you, that feels like you're forcing yourself to try to do something. And I don't know what feels good to you, and that feels like you really want to do it and you're just going to allow yourself to have it. But just know that gratitude and this feeling of vibrancy and inspired ideas are in alignment with even greater abundance in life. And abundance isn't just wealth, it isn't just richness and money. Abundance means full-fledged holistic health. It means loving, caring partners and companions that lift you up and hold you in the highest regard. It means having the time and money freedom to do the things that you would absolutely love doing. That is abundance. And you can have that. And it starts with you. And it starts with recognizing your energy. And so for this podcast, we're leaning into this pull energy. We're leaning into these inspired ideas. We're leaning into the places and spaces that you say, absolutely not. And leaning into the places that say, absolutely, heck yes, this is a yes, yes, yes for me. And I want this. I would love this. And doing what you can with what you have from where you are in this moment. I honor you guys for being on this journey because it can be rigorous to not only check in with your thoughts, but to acknowledge your energy and the place and space that you're at. I honor you for the steps that you are taking to live an even greater life because you are an example for everybody and you are an inspiration for the people around you. And they are watching you, they are listening to you, and they want what you have. And every time you lean into the life that you would love living, every time that you go confidently in the direction of your dreams, people are watching, people are listening, and they are inspired by you and they are doing the exact same. And every time that we become these people, we send out beautiful ripples in time and space, and it cascades through generations. You are creating beauty in the moment right now just by being here. So I honor you. I'm giving you a high five, two high fives, because you're awesome. And for those of you who would love to take your transformational personal growth further and do it in a way that feels excellent to you with other people who have the highest intention for you as well. The month of November is a perfect place to start because I'm offering a 50% off deal for my 3-month coaching program. This is a new dream building beta team where I take you guys through the 3-month program that I offer, and we concoct and envision the life of your dreams. I help you see where you're feeling hemmed in. I help you uncover some self-sabotaging habits that are going to release you from your constricted feelings, from your constricted stories and energy that are going to easily allow even more money into your life, even more health and vitality in your life, even more time and money, freedom and love in your life. And so for those of you who want to take advantage of this, email me at perfectlypowerfullyu@gmail.com to get on the wait list. We'll set up a strategy session together so we can get you started. And then we begin in December to make 2025 the most radical and transformative year for you yet. So thank you all so much for sitting down with me today because it has been an absolute pleasure to be with you today. I look forward to talking with you guys next time. And until then, have yourself a super duper tremendous day. And I will talk to you guys again real soon.
Thank you all for joining me today because it has been my absolute pleasure to be here with you. Make sure to give this podcast a 5-star review and share it with all your loved ones because it helps in creating even more awesome content. If you're interested in learning how to effortlessly create even more health, vitality, and time and money freedom, sign up for my free monthly vision workshop live over Zoom. Until then, I hope you all have a powerful day, and I look forward to chatting with you all real soon.